How about now? Can you hear me now? It looks like that should be working. Let's see. Yeah, with the noise of the planer, do I really want sound? Good question, Kevin. Thanks for being here. Loud and clear. Oh, good. Sweet. That was weird. So I'm using OBS, and I set up the USB microphone connected to the computer as my audio input, and seemed just fine. And then I went live, and it wasn't there anymore. I mean, it was there, it just wasn't connected somehow, and it's not recognizing it when I plug it into the USB-C port. So now I'm just plugging it into the camera and sending audio from the camera into OBS. So, oh, so much fun. And I don't need that one. I thought maybe it just wasn't recognizing this mic, so I tried the other one, but didn't recognize either of them. So, all right, so we're going to be doing some planing. I've done a bunch of planing already. I was showing everybody earlier. This is some of the willow that I cut down in our backyard this last year. You can see the chainsaw marks there. And then on the opposite side, the bandsaw marks. Took it over to a neighbor. He's got a higher capacity bandsaw, a higher resaw capacity. So took it over there, but we didn't use any kind of jigs. We just kind of freehanded it, and they did not end up very straight, not very flat. So we've got a lot of planing to do on these. So the ones that we've already done a lot of planing on, I've mostly just been skip planing them, and some of them have turned out pretty well, except that they've got a little bit of a twist, and the skip planing doesn't really seem to be helping that. So I'm going to put them on a board here that apparently used to be part of like a bookcase or something, and shim them up and see if we can't get a nice reference side from that, and then flip it over to clean it up on the other side. All right, so get going. And so I'm just going to use some good old double stick tape here. And more around here. Let's see how that does. And that seems pretty flat. I wonder if this is the one that was already ready to start going, because I don't think it was. I want to just try shimming it a little bit here. Where does it need to be shimmed is the question. Well, let's try it. All right, so I'll get some, hey, let's see, we've got Suzanne, we got Keith, we've got Billy's still here. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Thanks for being here, everybody. And let me get some eye and ear protection on. Whoa! As some of my air protection falls to the ground. All right. So I've got my dust collection set up. I don't know if you can see that. And dust extractors over there. And so I'll turn on the dust extractor, turn on the planer, and we'll get going. So I saw some gaps there. Let's use this. All right, we'll go a little bit more on this side. Yep, it is Valentine's Day today. Don't like Valentine's Day, but I'm getting boiled crawfish out of it tonight. So I guess you can like it a little. Boiled crawfish, is that a good thing? And Billy's son's birthday today. Keith hasn't been to a good boil in decades. Interesting. Happy birthday to your son. Yep. Cajun restaurant in Huntsville. Oh, that's cool. What's my plan for the boards? I am looking to just make some charcuterie boards out of these guys. So got several of them there. So, and then there's some more. Let me think here. Where did I put the rest of them? Oh, no, not really. That's pretty much it. Here we go. And if done right. All right. So let's turn things back on and keep going a little bit here. I'm going to try flipping it over now. If I can release it. Jeez. Okay. Man. That double stick tape is really sticking. Now I need to lower it quite a bit to account for the not having the other board under there. I think that one's good. We still has work to do, obviously, but I think that one's all planed. So I will put it over here on the crosscut sled. All right, and let's get the next one that I've already partially planed. This is a long, skinny one. Now, I actually already gone in and tried to fill it a little bit, but I didn't do a very good job there. So I'll need to do better. All right. Get some more tape, and while I'm getting that, let me check out. Let's see. Luckily, the restaurant is closed. Boy, smoked sausage by the pounds. Keep it on hand for making gumbo. Sweet. Yeah, I've never really had a lot of Cajun food, so maybe I'm missing out. Around Thanksgiving, sells turducken, making everybody hungry. Looks like turd. And making myself hungry. Nice. Very nice. I'm going to go a little bit further in. Hate it when I do that. Now I have to pry the backing off of the tape. And everyone who saw me make my homemade kiln over there knows that I'm not very effective at removing tape from backing. All right. So I like to just leave, about an inch. So that way it's easy for me to actually pull that off. And okay. It's going to shim this side up a little bit, this corner. Try and get rid of that twist. And now I need to raise it back up a bit in order to account for the thickness of my board down below. All right. Let's get it going. Let's see. If it doesn't moo, I don't eat it. You try it. Yeah. Can't eat seafood anymore. It doesn't agree with me. Hey, JRH. And all right, here we go. Let's test that guy. Looks like we're not quite there yet over here. That should work. So now we'll flip it over. Try and use that shim to pop it off here. Lower it down. Raise it up. There we go. Oh, nope, needs more. I'm starting to wonder if my level is actually flat. I should clear off some space off of my router table here, because I made the router table with MDF, and so that should be very flat. So I'm going to use my bench that I made out of the log as my loading area, and use the router table as my testing area. That should work. Okay. Okay. No, I don't have any helpers right now. I might have some later. but I think they're probably still in bed. So I'm kind of trying to wake them up right now. Let's see, crawfish, chicken of the ditch. What it do? Hey, Cedar, thanks for being here. And Kevin should try turducken. Let's see, speckled belly goose, ribeye of the sky. Hey, Grumpy. Thanks for being here. Enjoyed your live earlier today. Let's see, finally good. Grandson settled in. Had to go get milk for the muffins. Okay. And all right. Let's keep it rolling here. Maybe I should move that a little further back so I'm not tripping over it. That might be better. All right. I'll just put that away because I'm not sure that it's really helping me that much. All right. Let me test this guy. Okay. So he's definitely got a bit of a rock to him. And I'm not going to worry about thinning it to this thickness because that would get rid of most of it here. So if I can get that good, then we're fine. So clear that off. And John, let's see, no, was it John or who was it that was asking about my helpers? Let's see. Yeah. To be technically correct, I was the helper yesterday. That was her project, not mine. So, okay. Everyone. Oh, Heidi, someone attacked your account. Had to make some changes. Oh, okay, good to know. Thunder Gouge. Cool name. Thanks for being here, Heidi. Sorry that your account got attacked. Hope you get that sorted quickly. I'm sure that is no fun. To have to deal with. All right. All right, and let's see, we'll just shim it there. Doesn't seem to be moving, so hopefully that works. Ooh. You know what? I think I'm going to throw some dry lube on that because that did not sound good to me. And there's my dry lube. I'm going to try to work that dry lube in So I'm just gonna go up and down a couple of times and try to get some good coverage there on the threaded whatever. Now we'll bring it back down to we'll start there. And Keith, when you find out who, send them to Arizona. Plenty of places to disappear there. All fixed already? Oh, good. So are you going to be able to get your original name back, or you don't know? Testing here. Not quite done. Let's see. I make a lot of noise in the morning. Only when I can. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Only when I can. Test that again over here. Yeah, definitely still rocking. When I tested it earlier, it was rocking, but I thought, oh, it's probably a different issue. Probably it's flat by now, but nope. I don't know why I thought that, but maybe just wishful thinking. Or maybe I just really want to use up this roll of double stick tape quickly. Let's see. I'm going to try this. Why doesn't I see any rock on it right now? Okay, there's some gap there. Okay. My shims apparently don't get thin enough. All right, let's try that. Trying to wake everybody up. Yep, basically. Woke me up from 700 miles. Hey, do what I got to do. BRB, bring root beer. Yeah, no, why not? Root beer's yummy. That appears to be flat. That appears to be broken. What do you think of the grain on that? Does this figure come through on the camera? I'm tilting it so that I can see it, but I'm hoping that you guys can see it too. All right. Calvin, I hate to be that guy. Worried that you'll take that planer down too low, take that jack screw down too low, it will break those planters. There's a warning in the back of the manual. I learned the hard way. Take the planer down too low, take the jack screw down too low. The jack screw, I'm not familiar with the jack screw. Please educate me, Calvin. Voice to text, sorry about errors. So close to minimum thickness. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever paid attention to minimum thickness. Wonder what that is. Does it say on here somewhere? Well, let me measure how thin that guy came through. And got my calipers back here somewhere. There they are. Buried beneath all these other tools that I pushed out of the way so that the planing activity wouldn't damage them. .39. 0.38. 0.38. So less than half an inch. What is that, around 3/8? Yeah, 3.75 or 37.5 would be 3/8, right? So just above 3/8 inch thick. Hey, Craig, thanks for being here. The screw on the inside that adjusts when you turn the handle. Okay, that I was just lubricating. Neither did I. Cleaning some siding. Will freeze unevenly if it is brought down too low. Ah, good to know. All right, I will have to look up what the minimum thickness is because I do not know. But luckily, we've got some thicker material to work with. So you can see the plunge cuts from the chainsaw there. And a little bit smoother on this side from the bandsaw. But I'm going to try skip planing this to start. Hopefully that goes okay. Let me try breaking this off. That didn't work. Let me just go cut it off on the miter saw here. There we go. That's an interesting smell. I wouldn't say it's bad. I'm gonna angle you a little bit there. All right. Happy Valentine's Day. Yep. Amen, Mike. And I'm going to check to see how I'm coming on my dust extractor, if that's getting, oh, yep. Thought it might be getting kind of full. And it is. So I'm going to empty that. All right. I'll leave the ring here. I'm just going to go dump this in a for some mulch and flower beds. Because willow shreds should be good for that, right? And if not, then you live and you learn. So connect that. All right. And jack screw or screw jack. Oh, get you back over here. Jack screw or screw jack is a mechanical device that converts rotational motion into linear motion to lift heavy loads or apply pressure, operating on the wedge principle via threaded shaft, etc. Didn't know you were going to learn something this Valentine's Day, did you? In this case, the upper assembly, the surface planer, is controlled by a jack screw. Cool. All right. So let's try some skip planing here. So I'll plane it one surface up and then flip it. And so I'm kind of taking off the highest points on either side. And then as we get close to the final thickness, I may need to go back to my sled here. But sometimes I don't have to, and I like that. Always learn something when Calvin's around. Yep. Grumpy is like a sponge. So, got a lot of kind of chip out on this. Not sure why. I tried doing it a couple different directions and don't have nearly as much on this side, although there is still some. The figure on that looks a lot nicer than on this side, but that might be in part because of all the chip out that's making the figure harder to see. All right, we'll put that to the side. And just trying to explain your wording. Yeah. Sanding hard maple. That's what you're doing, Cedar? How it goes? It's going pretty well here. Planers are loud. Yep, they are indeed. Explain buggers, Cal. Yeah. And okay, I think that call means that I am going to take a break and be back in a little bit, possibly. So let me, I will be back